Thanks for joining us for another episode of Seeing Live. I'm Colion Noir, and we have a jam-packed show today full of new guns, new teaching tools, and first up, a new kind of gun range. My first guest is Ron Miller, the CFO of Modern Range. What's going on, Ron?
Hey, Colion, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. So what is Modern Range? What's going on here?
Actually, it's Modern Round, Colion. It's a Modern Round.
Modern Round. Okay, gotcha.
It's an ammo round, correct.
Okay.
Modern Round. And actually, Modern Round is a one-of-a-kind virtual shooting entertainment concept. Mm-hmm. We combine high-tech gaming with realistic replica firearms, along with top-of-the-line food, beverages, and service. So envision you're in Monte Carlo going into a casino, and there's a James Bond motif. Uh-huh. It's that kind of upscale, kind of lounge shooting area. And we have a full bar restaurant. And so we have a very extensive menu to offer to our guests. And again, but it's all virtual, Colion.
Okay.
We actually, the firearms themselves, no ejector ports, cannot be converted to real firearms, but they're not tethered, unlike a lot of gaming concepts.
Yeah.
And when we designed the concept, we want to make sure that you got a really good experience with a replica firearm.
Gotcha. I'm not gonna lie. When I initially heard the concept, I was under the impression it was live shooting, and in my mind I was like, how do they manage that?
Exactly.
But no, I mean, go ahead.
You're able to eat and drink in the lounge, again, unlike in a live fire range. And again, what we really paid a lot of attention to adhere to the needs of shooters and non-shooters. About 60 to 70% of our guests, Colion, really never shot a weapon. A lot of them may have had a toy gun in their hand. So it's a lot of fun for us to educate them on firearm safety. We have a firearms video that we have all our new guests look. It's a 2-minute video. Again, no danger, but we're all about gun safety. Yeah. Our founders, Mitch Saltz, he was the former chairman and CEO of Smith & Wesson. And our other co-founders, Barry Monheit, who's the current chairman of the board of Smith & Wesson. So we are about gun safety. So we don't want our guests leaving the facility and not respecting the weapons, if you will.
Gotcha.
We promote a muzzle discipline, always point the replica weapons downrange, and so forth. So it's very important to us.
That is freaking awesome. So what sparked this idea? Like, what happened? Were you sitting at a restaurant and you're like, I sure would love to play a video game right now and go shoot some stuff. Like, how did this happen?
Well, it's a great question. It kind of all comes out of this eating for an experience, that kind of whole sector that's evolved.
Yeah.
And I know you're in Dallas and you're familiar with Topgolf. Mm-hmm. I mean, we actually, because of our ties to Smith & Wesson, I consult with Smith & Wesson, avid shooter like you. We knew about this simulation technology. We actually partnered with a company called Virtua Systems, and they're a leading provider of simulation systems to law enforcement and the military. Uh-huh. And we knew about their technology. We were trying to go through different ways to commercialize the technology, turn it into a commercial model, but we realized that we needed a food and beverage entertainment component to it. So we actually partnered with Virtua, and we have a worldwide exclusive to their technology, kind of like what Topgolf did with Callaway Golf. Yeah. They have the golf ball technology. We actually now have exclusive rights to all the technology they've been developing over the last 20 years for commercial purposes. Awesome. So, Colion, when you come into our facility and I hand you one of our replica firearms, a rifle, handgun, all the ballistics behind that you're seeing on the screen is all very realistic, and it's what law enforcement trains on. So it's a very, very high-end technology.
Gotcha. So what has been your experience in watching people for the first time come into this environment? What tends to be people's initial reaction?
That's a great question. It's kind of across the board. And just to give you an idea, the demographic is pretty broad. I mean, we have junior members, young adults from 12 to 18. And Colion, we'll have a lot of elderly folks in their 70s and 80s. It's a lot of fun. Our target market's 25 to 45, but it's really been fun for us as founders of the company to really see it come together. But you'll come in, Colion, and again, it's a full bar and restaurant. You'll see folks around the bar, guests around the bar, in the dining area. You go into the lounges themselves, and there's a couch that encases the lounge. It's semi-enclosed. And you'll have a couple guests sitting at the couch, probably a couple guests shooting into the screen. And I tell you, on average, they're all having a great time. Again, this is about entertainment. Again, firearms is a fundamental kind of entertainment aspect, but it's about having a good time.
Yeah.
And I tell you, we have a lot of bachelorette parties. You see a lot of young ladies holding an AR replica, shooting into the screen, shooting zombies. You can shoot zombies. You can shoot ducks. You can shoot gnomes. So we have a broad enough spectrum in our video library that anyone can have fun in there.
Yeah. No, what's interesting too is there's let me get a health nut on you. Like, you can eat and then you can burn some calories out at the same time.
Sure.
I've done a lot of these simulation games before, and you'll be surprised how much of a workout you tend to actually work up.
Just holding your arms up, exactly. Holding the arms up and standing. And again, our objective: have a good time shooting, then sit down and eat and drink something. Quite frankly, I mean that's the objective from a business standpoint. But again, because the weapons aren't tethered, the guests can kind of move around and have fun doing that. And actually, we have recoil. We simulate recoil in a couple of the weapons, the handgun and rifle. We have CO2 in the magazine well. I actually have one right here. It's a product we buy from a company called Universal Electronics. The magazine has CO2 in it. You put that in there, rack it, and about a 380 type of action. It's a lot of fun. We also have another one that's a SIRT gun. This is just trigger training by Next Level Training.
Yeah.
What's really good about this one, a lot of guests like it because there's a laser, so they'll use this to get familiar with a firearm. But again, we stress the look and feel just like a real firearm. This one has an M&P Smith & Wesson configuration, so a lot of guests really enjoy using that. We also have a rifle system. You'll appreciate this. This is our AR platform.
I love it.
Actually, what's really cool is a lot of the components are right off the shelf with a typical live fire weapon. Butt stock is real, the handle sight, the pistol grip, and the handrail. Again, similar capacity. Magazine goes in, pop it in, charging handle, put it on fire away.
That is awesome.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, as a shooter, it's a lot of fun. We have over 100 games, skill games, and the skill games are anything from a beginner up to a marksman. And because it's on a computer, we can create depth, we can move targets, so we can make it tough for a real shooter like yourself to have a good time. But also, one thing I want to mention, because we partner with Virtra, and they do their scenarios for live action for the police officers, they actually film actors on green screens. And so they'll simulate a holdup at an ATM. They'll simulate a situation in a school cafeteria for law enforcement to train on. We actually have rights to use those, and they're called our live action scenarios. And so it's actually an opportunity for a guest to, quote, be a cop for the day, if you will. Yeah. And they're pass, fail, shoot, don't shoot type scenarios. So it's a lot of fun, and I tell you again, the key thing is our guests leave having a lot of appreciation what police officers go through, law enforcement goes through every day. That's incredibly important. I mean, that's, for a lot of people, it's an experience that a lot of people will not be able to get for obvious reasons, of course, right? But you know, to put that in perspective and then walk out with an understanding that was hard, but I can only imagine what it's like in real life. It's even harder. And they're amazed how quickly you have to react. I say have the weapon up because you just have no idea how quickly you have to react. Absolutely. Now, how effective do you think this could, like a situation, not a situation, but an establishment like this, how effective do you think this would be at being able to, I say convert, but more so to really enlighten people? I mean, we already touched on that from a LEO standpoint, but you know, people who may be apprehensive about firearms. Have you experienced people who came in and who were initially anti and then walk out with a different perspective, or? You know? It's a good question. Before we opened up, I think there was a lot of hesitancy, if you will, guns and alcohol. Even though we're not real guns, there's a lot of hesitancy, and you're promoting guns and alcohol. And believe me, we're not doing that at all. But as guests come in and experience Modern Round, they see that it's entertainment because it's an entertaining environment. But guests are having fun. It's that simple. But again, we have two actually licensed NRA certified instructors on staff. A lot of guests come in, they don't even know how to hold the weapon. So it gives us an opportunity to educate them on proper firearm usage, discipline with the weapons. And I tell you, you'll see the guests really appreciating that kind of instruction. And a lot of the guests come in, they say, you know, I really want to learn about guns, but I'm concerned about going to a live fire range. Yeah. This is a great way for me to get comfortable to kind of break in to using a gun. And again, we have a couple live fire ranges near our location in Phoenix, and we encourage guests, once you get comfortable, you know, go to that live fire range. Go experience what it feels like to actually let a round off. No, absolutely. I look at this and I see gateway. You know, exactly. You know, you start off from going to Modern Round, and then inevitably a couple weeks later, a month later, there you are at a live firing range, and then after you're done at the firing range, going back to Modern Round. So I'm a little jealous because I'm going to ask you this question, and I'm assuming I'm not going to get the right answer. Is there one of these in Dallas? You know, it's a great question. I was just in Dallas the other day, Coleon. So that is a target market for us. We have one location in Peoria, Arizona, which is about 30 minutes north of Phoenix itself. Yeah. And so Dallas is a target market, as is Houston, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Miami. Again, multiple locations we're looking at right now. Awesome. So at this point, where do you see Modern Round evolving to maybe 5-10 years down the line? We have a very aggressive growth plan. We look to have 20 to 25 units in the next 5 years. Oh, okay. So we have a fully staffed management team. We're ready to roll out 3 more locations this year and do another 3 or 4 the following year. So we're very, very focused on growing the business, growing the brand. Modern Round Entertainment Corporation is ready to get this across the country, frankly. And again, I can't emphasize our food enough. I'd love for you to come out, going on. And it's a quick flight from Dallas. I just made it the other day. I mean, we have everything from buffalo chicken rolls, spring rolls, to some great flatbreads. We have a Big Shot burger, which is a 12-ounce burger, which is fantastic. Our corporate chef is Canadian, so he's made a great short rib poutine. So again, some great food items. I guess our guests really leaves really appreciating the food. We made a point of making sure the food was really good and that bring the guests back.
Just the only question I ask is, how is the old fashioned? People act like old fashions are easy, but people mess them up every day.
We have a great bartending staff.
Okay.
So again, our drinks are. We actually have some of the coldest beer on the west side.
Oh wow!
I guess in Phoenix, in Arizona, in the middle of the summer, it's a great spot to come into and get some very cold draft beer.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Ron. It's a pleasure. I'm excited learning about Mataran. I didn't know about it until yesterday, actually. And I hopefully you guys will get a location in Dallas because I will be there all the time.
We'll let you know. And again, we'd love to have you come to Phoenix and bid us out here too as well.
I'm not against that. I'm not against that either.
Perfect.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ron. You have a good one.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right. And we'll be back after this break.